Hey, hello guys, welcome to the fourth part of the jQuery final project. So we now have our index.php and the general.css. Okay, and next what I'm going to do is create a new file, and we will have our jQuery code in an external file. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is create a link to it, and to do that we type here script. And script type equals text.java script src equals, and the name of the file is going to be validation .gs. Okay, and that's pretty much it. Script. So this is the file that we will create, validation.js, and this is where we will have all our jQuery code or JavaScript code. So let's create that file straight away, and down here, first thing, of course, as always, type document dot ready parenthesis function and curly braces. Now we can save the file as validation.js. Perfect. Now the first thing I want to create is let me see. We will create the variables first, okay? So I'm going to create some global variables to use them in the whole code. So the first variable is going to be a variable form, which is equal to the form itself, which has the ID of custom form. There it is, okay? Custom form, we will use that a lot. Another variable is name, so this is going to be equal to name. Now name info is going to be equal to name info var email equals to email var email info is equal to email info. Yeah. And now var pass1 is equal to pass1, and var pass1 info is equal to pass1 info. Make sure you don't have no errors, because if we simply missed a 1 here, for example, when you finish the whole code, you will you don't know where the error is going to be or is, and you'll have to search all the code for that missing 1 in here. Okay, so I advise you to, in JavaScript, make sure you have all your code exactly as you must have, okay, correctly, with no errors and no missing missing names or missing words or letters or numbers. Okay, so you can do a little bit of code, and then after some 20 or 50 50, let's say, lines of code. You can review the code and run the code if it works, to see if it works it's all working. Okay, so that's a good way to avoid errors at the end. So pass1 info. Now pass2. Pretty much we can copy this. Copy and paste, and here just change this to 2 pass2 info, and finally a variable which is going to be a variable state that we will use to return values either true or false in our functions. Okay, so state for now is going to be by default as false. Save that, and now we will start creating our first function. So our first function is going to be validate name, and the first thing we have to do is create an if statement and see if name dot val dot length is if is less or equal to 4, do this, else do that. And if is less than 4, what I'm going to do is name and type remove class valid, and here I'm going to type name info dot remove class valid and now we type name dot add class. Here we type error, and now name name info dot add class. Here we type error as well, and now we type name info dot text, and the message is going to be we want names with more than 4 letters. Okay, so basically what we're doing here is remove the class valid if it's set to the name, which is the input, and the name info, which is the span where the message appears. Okay, so we remove class valid, okay, if it has, which is the green green class. Valid has a green color in the background and in the letters. So we remove those and apply a new class, which is the error class, and a new message saying we want names with more than 4 letters, in the case that whatever we typed is less or equal to 4. Okay, else, so else, oh, and in here of course we have to type state equals false, okay, which is this variable here. And this is how we will control the return either true or false for each different if statement in the functions. Okay, so when we have all the functions, we will do a new function. We'll create a new function which is called check all functions. If all functions return true, which means if all the inputs are correct in green, you can proceed and send to the PHP file to store to the MySQL database your information. Okay, so now we type else and create an if statement here as well, which is name dot val dot length again, but now if it's bigger than 4, okay, do this, else do that. Okay, now if name.val length is bigger than 4, okay, we will have to check to our PHP script, a script that we will create in a PHP file, to check in the MySQL database if that name already is registered. If it is, we have to return false or a message that we can grab in the JavaScript or here in the jQuery and check that, and if it's true, you output a message to the user saying that name is already registered, please type another one, or if it's not, we do something else to proceed. Okay, so to check that, we have this if statement here, and we have to type now create a variable called uname, which is going to be equal to name and dot val, and in here we type post. We will use the post method to send this value that we typed in the name field to validation or validate.php. Validation is already here. We already have that name to this file. Validation.js is the JavaScript file, and validate.php is going to be the PHP file. So validate.php, this is where I want to send a value. Then I'm going to type what I want to send. So I want to send names uname. Okay, if you don't know what this means, you have to go back to my jQuery tutorials, okay, and search how to use the post method. Okay, so names name, and now what I have to type is function, and here data, and inside post I'm gonna type if data is not equal to, let's type true, do this, else do that. Okay, don't get lost by all these closing tags. Make sure guys, you have the same number of closing tags I have here. Okay, so I have the first one, which is from the first document already. Then I have 1, 2, 3, else, another one. This one belongs to the post. Then I have these ones. Okay, make sure that you don't miss any of the closing tags. Okay, if you have an error, go back in the video and make sure you did all the what I'm doing. Okay, copy everything I'm doing. So if that is not equal to true, here I'm going to type name dot remove class valid, and what I can do is I'm going to take this out and grab all these. Copy and paste. Okay, I put this a little bit more here and indent this a little bit more. Okay, so now what we have to change is, if that is not true, it is not returned okay by the PHP file. So it means that that name is already registered. So we remove the valid and we add the error class, the red class, and we type a text saying here this name is already registered. Okay, and the state, of course, is returned as false. Now here else, we will do, we can copy this as well, copy, and here paste it, and instead of valid we have to change this to error, and add valid, and here change the text to name. Let's type name available. Okay, so the return here is true because it's a green message. Okay, you can proceed. Let's save this, and the next thing is to go down here, and this is not correct. We don't need this else in here, so take that out. So this is from the post if var is bigger than blah blah blah, that, and this is from the else, and this is from the valid name. So between these two we have to return state. Okay, so let's save this, and we are done with our first function, validate name. Okay, so to check if that is working, what I'm gonna do here is I can create already the calls of the functions, or the call of the function, and I'm gonna type here name dot key up, and on key up of name, okay, which is the name field, on key up, on key up of name, call the function validate name. Okay, so let's save that, and that's pretty much it, I think. Let's oh, of course, sorry guys, we have to create the validate.php. So let's go in here, and this is already taking too long, so I will proceed in the next video. See ya.